So here we are in the assembly area for the final round of the Super Pro VAG Trophy. The drivers at the front are going to be battling it out as the championship has not yet been decided and there's all to play for here today. So Dan, you've been driving in the VAG Trophy all of this season. How's it been going for you? You're up here on pole. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, no, we've had a really good run. All year we've been very competitive. We come second in the championship last year, so we're back this year hoping to take the title. We've got the last race today, really pushing for a race win basically. We've had one win yesterday, but we need another one today to secure it. But there's also another guy in Class C2 basically, and he can also take the overall championship, so I'm racing him basically, so I need to win to mirror what he's doing.
And you were saying that your colleague over here, Chris, has been quite a good competitor throughout the season.
Yeah, no, Chris and there's Andy, like, we've really been having a really good fight all year sort of thing, so we've been very close. The racing's been brilliant, really close racing, and couldn't ask for much better really. We've had a really good season.
And what's the best thing for you about the VAG Trophy?
Just the spirit between everyone is very friendly, it's a very nice atmosphere, and the racing's very close, very competitive, which is what you want basically.
Hi Chris, we've just been having a bit of a chat with Dan Rose over there. You two are going to be fighting out at the front of the field. Who do you think's going to win?
Yeah, well, Dan's obviously concentrated on his car setup really strongly this year, and yeah, he is a tricky opponent, but you know, I'll give it my best shot.
Got any tricks up your sleeve?
Well, we'll see how we get on going into that first bend this time, because I nearly had him last time. Okay. I think, you know, if I get in front of him, I could make the break, and then, you know, it's just keeping him behind me. So let's see what happens.
Well, I mean, I used to win and get the fastest lap, which hopefully Daniel might do that as well. So it will be tight, but we'll just go for it and see what happens.
And how many points are there in terms of the top? Like you're in a slightly different class, aren't you, than the guy on pole?
I'm in a different class. We're racing in our classes. I think I've won the Class 2, but the overall championship, I think I'm probably 5 or 6 points away. So I think he has to have a non-finish for me to really have a chance, but we'll try.
The cars coming to the grid then for the final round of the 2011 Super Pro VAG Trophy. Full field as ever in what is a very popular category of racing. This is how they line up with Daniel Rose on pole position, Chris Hayes alongside them on the front of the grid. No James Bark, he's keeping his powder dry for later, so Barry Cully all alone on row 2. It's the gantry time, the red lights are on. Is Daniel Rose going to convert pole position? As away we go here at Snetterton for the final time in 2011. The field surge on towards Riches. The first time of asking, looking very congested in the midfield, but up front it's Rose who's just ahead of Chris Hayes, although Hayes disputes it into Riches. Up into third goes Will McAteer, making the move on Barry Cully. It's about 4 wide for 10th position. Everybody looks to be cleanly through, so they arrive at Montreal for the first time. Rose from Hayes, then McAteer from Cully. Everybody else, I think, vying for 6th position. Everybody cleanly through. This is one of the real beauties of the championship. Close but clean and affordable racing. In the field though, Daniel Rose looking to wrap up the championship in emphatic fashion, though Chris Hayes is not going to make it easy for him. We go in car with Dawn Boyd, who's in amongst some of the Golfs, having a very busy race. Looks to the inside, but she can't go through because Brian Passmore slides up, making the move. Agostini, as Barry Cully is trying to pile the pressure on here to Will McAteer. So McAteer just ahead of him at the moment in 3rd position, Cully in 4th. Here are the leading duo, the two Seats, Daniel Rose and Chris Hayes. Turning through Oggies, and then they'll be looking to get the good run out of Williams and on to the Bentley Straight, particularly Barry Cully there in the white. Vento's Tony Absalom in 5th, goes skating across the grass. He's lost 1 position, and so he does rejoin in 6th, but a little bit of work to do there. Tony C looks to recover up through the field, but if everybody else arrives on MASH, you can see he didn't lose out as badly as he quite could have done. The leading duo turn through, Brundle and Nelson, and we have still got Daniel Rose leading it from Chris Hayes. About the McAteer and Cully battle. No, Barry Cully couldn't make the move down the Bentley Straight, so instead he's going to look to try into the bomb hole. We're in car with Barry Cully looking to the inside, but Will McAteer covers that off, not a Vento's gap there. So instead Barry Cully will look to press on through Coram and Murray's. As the midfield golf battle continues apace, so Tim Cox there is just onto the tail of Marcus McKenzie as they arrive in towards Coram Curve. Let's see how that resolves itself. And it's Cox in the white car round outside the Coram. That's brave stuff there from Tim Cox. So he looks squeezed past. Oh, but he goes past McKenzie as well. Super move from Cox over the curbs. and he has gained that place. Now what can Mackenzie in the black car, number 8 car, do about challenging also Dawn Boyce to the mix as Cully goes around the outside, or does he? And McAteer and Twitches, no he doesn't. How close was that between the pair of them? Couldn't have finished a sheet of paper, could you, between the bumpers? And Will McAteer just about holding on to that position, although I can see that they have both been passed by Tony Absalom and Andy Thompson, so their battle has seen them demoted by a couple of the other cars because they've been so busy fighting amongst themselves. So this is now the battle for 5th and 6th position. Right, now what can Cully do? McAteer still maintaining his place as the Golfs continue a very lively battle. It's Simon Gustafsson in the 24 car who we're watching. He is looking to challenge, move up past Andrew Barton. Right, here's the fight 3rd and 4th. It's Tony Absalom ahead of the former Slick 50 Saloons champion. If you remember those, Andy Thompson, vastly experienced drivers both. And Tony, having recovered from that early indiscretion, is now in a podium position, but coming under all sorts of pressure. As Andy looks to get a good exit from Nelson, he gets a good exit. He forces Tony Absalom to go defensive, so they turn through the bomb hole. Absalom in 3rd, and a very feisty-looking Andy Thompson in 4th position, just kicking up the dust into the bomb hole on the way towards Coram Curve. Absalom in the Golf, though, just ahead of the Seat. VAG Trophy, stands Volkswagen Audi Group, which means any car from that automobile group, so Volkswagens, Audis, Seats, Skodas, they're all eligible. Gives us a hugely varied field. Well, this is 3 Golfs, well, 3 Volkswagens, 2 Golfs. Paul Taylor, where did he come from? Surging up the inside, gaining 2 places in one fell swoop. Will McAteer looks to fight back, so the 2 Golfs go side by side, being watched by Barry Cully in the Vento, who was somewhat comprehensively demoted there by the former Volkswagen UK Cup man, Paul Taylor. Will McAteer, also a very experienced racer, so Barry Cully, having been stuck behind McAteer all race long, is now seeing Paul Taylor take his turn to try and challenge Will. And he looks the inside into the hairpin at Montreal. He's not going to be close enough on this occasion, but Will McAteer outbrakes himself, and through goes Paul Taylor. Barry Cully trying to make the move as well. Now can Cully, he draws alongside in the Vento. This championship organisers work very hard to equalise the cars within each class, so some of them have got slightly better straight line speed, others are more nimble through the corners, which is why we're seeing such close racing as Simon Gustafsson gets it all wrong at Montreal onto 3 wheels. He rejoins, having lost a place, very calmly gets on with his race as Daniel Rose continues to lead, and this is looking very good for the championship for him. He came into this race with an advantage. If he wins it, he's not going to be passed by anybody, as we've got a recovering Tim Cox from a little bit of a moment there. Some trim hanging off back to the car, but otherwise no harm done. Back to the fight for 3rd, and Tony Absalom still being pressurised here by Andy Thompson, and it's Thompson who's so strong here through Brundle Nelson. We've seen it a couple of laps in a row now. Gets an excellent exit from Nelson into the bomb hole. Absalom spits some flame into Thompson's face, trying to deter him. Doesn't really succeed in that, so they turn through Coram, and again Andy Thompson in the Seat, looking to pressurise Tony Absalom in the Golf, who arrives at tomorrow's at quite some clip. He's going to run a little bit wide there, kicks up a few fragments of dust on the exit over the curbs, and Andy Thompson still unable to elevate himself up onto the podium. Marcus Mackenzie is having one of those races, wherever you look, he's in the thick of the action, and so he's coming under all sorts of pressure. We've also got them being lapped as well by Chris Hayes, so Chris Hayes, who is 2nd in the race, just picking his way up through the order in terms of the back markers, but he's not getting onto terms with this man, Daniel Rose, who's only got a few corners between himself and the championship, Barry Cully. Well, of all the cars to have an in-car with, I think Barry has given us ample entertainment this time around. He goes a little bit wide at Montreal on that occasion. He's still solidly in, well, it was 5th position, it's now 6th, because hello to Will McAteer, who sides up the inside. They always make contact through Palmer. It's going to be a drag race into heaven. Agostini right back in car with Barry. He's got the inside line here. Will McAteer squeezing him a little bit. I think Barry is going to do enough. Through he goes, just about. Hear the screech of the tyres, but he keeps Will McAteer at bay. As out of Murray's, the final time comes Daniel Rose, who is going to win the final round of the 2011 Super Pro VAG Trophy. It's been a great drive from Daniel in a very strong season. The checker flag goes out, and Rose taking the win emphatically in the final event from Chris Hayes in second position. Now what about third? It's still Tony Absalom, but I would have bet against Andy Thompson. They've still got a corner to go. Absalom up onto two wheels, under braking to Morris, and very slow through Morris. Thompson's going to have a run here as they accelerate on towards the line. Is Tony Absalom going to hold on? I think he might just. He's got the track position, and Thompson's not quite close enough. He's bobbing behind him as they cross the line. It is Tony Absalom who claims third. He's very happy about that. You can see him in the cockpit celebrating. And Andy Thompson, well, strong drive for Andy. Must be sick though. Tony Absalom's rear spoiler now. So here are the final results, with Daniel Rose taking the win from Chris Hayes and Tony Absalom in third position. Dan Rose celebrates on the podium, with the grid girls doing the honours with the trophies and the bubbly.
Daniel, you told Lucy here earlier you needed a win in this race, and you've got it. That means you're champion.
Yeah, no, chuffed, really chuffed. Like, I really needed the win. I come into the weekend knowing that I had to have a win, sort of thing. Last meeting we had a disaster into the first bend. We had a collision and I was out of it. I come dead last basically. So this weekend I had to win and I had to storm everything, and I'm chuffed. I've done it all. I couldn't have done any more.
Yeah, second place was good. Obviously losing to Dan is no mean feat. You know, he works very hard for it, and yeah, it was great. Really good race.
We've had reliability problems with the car, but we knew that it had the ability. It's quite a disadvantaged car, as you can see, a small Mark II Golf, but a podium for us today is unbelievable.
One championship decided, but plenty more action to come here at Snetterton from the Golf GTI Championship.